Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has alleged that a plan is underway to establish a Christian state in parts of Myanmar and Bangladesh, where the former is an Islamic country. Without taking names, she insinuated that this plan involves American interests. The state would allegedly encompass parts of Myanmar, particularly areas once inhabited by the Rohingyas population, as well as portions of Bangladesh. The allegation hinted at a broader strategy wherein the global advocacy for the Rohingya cause could be utilized to cultivate them as a strategic ally for the United States. She alleged that she was promised a hassle-free election that concluded earlier in January this year if she would allow a particular country to build an air base in Bangladesh. It should be noted that the US was accused of interfering in Bangladesh elections, and there were reports that the US wanted to overthrow the incumbent Sheikh Hasina government. And while PM Hasina did not name the country which made such an offer, she did say that a white man did so. Prior to the January 2024 elections in Bangladesh, the US was trying to throw around its weight through their ambassador Peter Haas, who continuously throughout 2023 was meeting the opposition leaders in Bangladesh, precisely the leaders of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party. Notably, the BNP is the principal adversary to Sheikh Hasina's political party, the Awami League. The US criticism of the Bangladeshi polls also seemed to be unending, with Haas repeatedly engaging with Bangladesh Chief Election Commissioner for emphasizing on the necessity of transparent elections and urging dialogue among all political factions. There are more reasons to suspect US involvement in the alleged plans of carving out a Christian state. The US had tried to tarnish Bangladeshi PM Hasina's image by alleging that the elections being held were an unfair one. Whereas in reality, the elections held in Pakistan were far worse, with former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan lodged in jail. However, instead of pointing out the obvious, the US called it competitive elections. Further, the US Treasury Department imposed sanctions on the Rapid Action Battalion and its former officials on December 10, 2021, further demonstrating the escalating tensions. Apart from this, there has been another incident that had hinted towards the fading relationship between the US and Bangladesh. Recently, the US State Department called out former Bangladesh Army Chief General retired Aziz Ahmed for being involved in corruption, making him the very first Bangladeshi national to be called out by the Department of the State. Most importantly, the PM of Bangladesh has compared the plot of carving a Christian state to that of East Timor. East Timor is a country in Southeast Asia. It is on the eastern side of the island of Timor, which it shares with Indonesia. Indonesia had annexed East Timor in 1976, but in 2002, East Timor became a Christian majority nation with the help of $500 million as aid from the US. East Timor now houses US military bases, including an airfield. But why does the US want to establish its airbase in Bangladesh? The most obvious reason would be to counter China, which had been trying hard to increase its presence into the Bay of Bengal. China's collaboration with Bangladesh to establish the BNS Sheikh Hasina Naval Base in Pekwa is indicative of its expanding maritime interests. By constructing a dry dock there to accommodate submarines and warships, China aims to solidify its defense ties with Bangladesh and extend its influence in the region. In response, the United States could be considering the establishment of an airbase to safeguard its interests and deter China's attempts to assert dominance in the Bay of Bengal. Further, from an ideological point of view, South Asia stands out as the only geographical region which does not have a predominantly Christian nation. This unique characteristic may present an opportunity for initiatives aligned with American interest to establish a foothold in the region, and that might have been the reason why America had been continuously supporting the anti-government forces in countries of South Asia. Recently, the Biden government had been giving continuous aid to the opposition forces in Myanmar after he had signed the Burma Act into law. It calls to provide non-lethal assistance for Myanmar's ethnic armed organization. The first tranche of aid under the act reached anti-government forces this year. It has been objected by the ruling State Administration Council, which stated, according to the Voice of America, that the US is manipulating Myanmar to counter China's influence in the region. America's ongoing support for the Kuki-Chin rebels in Manipur in India has significant security implications for the country. The rapid population growth of the Kuki-Chin tribes has dramatically altered the region's demographics, leading to intense conflicts over resource between the majority Hindu Meiteis and Kuki-Chin tribals. These clashes have further complicated the security landscape in Manipur, exacerbating tensions and instability and leading to a civil war-like situation within the state. although the US cites humanitarian intervention as the reason for its growing support of the Christian minority in Manipur. The uncalled for interference by the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom suggests there may be other underlying intentions. While the United States claims its interference in South Asia, especially the Indian subcontinent, is aimed at countering China, though the choice of parties it supports tells a different story. Instead of strengthening relationships with the governments of these nations, the US often opts to support anti-government entities or dissenting groups. For instance, it lends its support to the National Unity Government and the People's Defense Forces in Myanmar. This approach of backing opposition forces rather than collaborating with existing governments suggests a strategy focused on destabilizing regimes rather than fostering stable alliances to counter China's influence in the region. In Southeast Asia too, especially Thailand, there were allegations that the US was interfering in the country's national elections by lending support to the Move Forward party. This enraged the conservative groups who have protested outside the embassy, accusing the US of meddling into the country's internal affairs. Though the US Embassy in Bangkok denied these allegations, concerns persisted, particularly regarding the potential impact on the prime ministerial vote and the Move Forward party's stance on amending Section 112 of the Thai Criminal Code. Apart from that, the American deep state, which is seemingly aligned with Sino-Wahhabi leftist interests driven by the imperative of absolute capitalism, appears to be shifting intellectual focus towards a potential regime change in India as well. This strategy now seems to be extended to Bangladesh, where the US is reportedly supporting the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, known for promoting the Boycott India movement within Bangladesh. The BNP allegedly receives backing from Pakistan's ISI, adding further complexity to the geopolitical landscape. This scenario suggests a concerted effort by the US to establish an American-dominated economic and political order in South Asia so that its supremacy prevails. This is being pursued either through direct intervention in the geopolitics of South Asian nations or through the involvement of multinational corporations. By supporting opposition forces and developing anti-government sentiments, the US aims to reshape the regional dynamics in its favor, ensuring its strategic interests are upheld against the backdrop of China's rising influence. The intricate web of geopolitical actions in South Asia showcases the human consequences of such steps. Behind the rhetoric of democracy and humanitarianism lies the realities of destabilization, insecurity, and heightened tensions for the people living in this region. The support for opposition groups and so-called dissenting movements not only undermine the sovereignty of nations but also increases existing social, ethnic, and religious tensions, ultimately impacting the lives of ordinary citizens.